Well, guys, now that I've covered and reviewed all 8 mainline Harry Potter films, it is finally time for me to do a video that I've been wanting to do for years, and that is my ranking of all 8 Harry Potter films. Now, first of all, before I continue on and say anything else, I just want to say thank you all once again for joining me on my journey of watching and really just covering all 8 movies. It was such a blast. It was an emotional experience, just essentially reliving my childhood once again, and then seeing a part of my childhood. And once again, once I got to Deathly Hallows Part 2, it was such a great time, and once again, I thank you all so much for watching me review these movies. If you missed my reviews of all Harry Potter films, there is a playlist which I made, the link in the description below if you want to check those reviews out, because I had such a great time doing those said reviews. Before I continue on with today's video, I just wanted to say, welcome to my channel, everybody. For those of you who are coming back to my channel for the very first time, be sure to hit the subscribe button to not miss a future video. It's a future review, a reaction, a ranking, a top 5, whatever I've coming your way, and join me on my journey to 10K subscribers and beyond, because women want to say this, guys, you are not going to miss the cool stuff I have coming your way, because I have a lot of stuff coming your way in the near future. And for those who are coming back to my channel, by the way, welcome back, everybody. You have no idea how happy I'm to see your faces once again. And also, one more thing as well, let's have a conversation below. What is your ranking of the Harry Potter films, from least to best? Let me know below. A couple of guidelines that I must always issue with every one of these ranking videos, whether it's a top 5 or a top 10 video, guys. First of which being this, guys, this is my personal ranking of the Harry Potter films, and I know that before I say anything else, that I know that you guys will have these ranked in different ways. So if you have a certain film ranked higher or a certain film ranked lower, that's completely cool, guys. And last but not least, guys, well, like I just mentioned, let's just have a fun time gushing about, at least in my personal opinion, once again, one of the best and one of the most, pun intended here, and totally, guys, magical film franchises of all time. With that being said, guys, let's get into number 8. Kicking things off at my number 8 spot, easily my least favorite Harry Potter film, and that is Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Half-Blood Prince isn't a bad film per se, it's actually still a quite enjoyable film. Half-Blood Prince is easily, if you were to ask me, the best looking Harry Potter film, and it easily is the Harry Potter film with the most gorgeous and the most stunning cinematography. The storyline involving Voldemort, with him being a kid and his interactions with Dumbledore, the Draco Malfoy storyline, I thought was absolutely brilliant. Now, if only, guys, if this movie had focused more on the Voldemort stuff with the Draco Malfoy stuff and not the romantic comedy stuff, given where the characters are, especially and their time and their age, I completely understand that they're gonna be exploring the more mature things like relationships, the more romantic side of things, but my god, all those things just kept me going like, can we go back to the Voldemort stuff, or at least the stuff with Draco, the stuff that's, you know, interesting? There are sequences and moments of Half-Blood Prince that showcase of what really could have been something really among the best Harry Potter films. It is, unfortunately for me, my least favorite Harry Potter film. Number 7. At my number 7 spot is the second Harry Potter film, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Chamber of Secrets, I still think, is a really good Harry Potter film. As a matter of fact, it is a damn entertaining Harry Potter film. But I will say this, looking at this movie compared to the first Harry Potter film, which was such an amazing introduction, and at that, a magical introduction, Chamber of Secrets is, unfortunately for me, a bit of a step down. But regardless, guys, while Chamber of Secrets at times feels like it's a little long, it feels like there are sequences that could have been trimmed down, and not to mention it as well, I also do feel like that Chris Columbus was a bit too over stylized in terms of his directing, especially with the constant use of Dutch angles. I mean, oh my god, the amount of Dutch angles drove me absolutely insane. What we still have here, nonetheless, is a good sequel, a darker sequel for a film that expands upon the lore of Hogwarts, the lore of the characters, the storytelling, and everything else. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is still nonetheless a very good sequel, and really a good Harry Potter film regardless.
Number 6.
Coming up next, at my number 6 spot, I have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1 is a thrilling and exciting, and at times I would possibly say the darkest of the Harry Potter franchise, especially knowing where this film is going, and especially knowing what happens with our characters. The camping segments are definitely in the book. I mean, there is a lot of bits of the camping, and really, some of the camping bits, especially in that confrontation when Ron just loses it and just blasts out against Harry, that sequence is by far, besides the incredible action sequences, that's one of my favorite parts of the entire film. But regardless, guys, I just couldn't but feel that some of the camping bits and just some of the road traveling bits just weren't nearly as interesting as I feel like that they could have been. While at times, I mean, sure, it's a prelude to part 2, and it's doing a lot of things setting up of what's to come with part 2. And sure, to that regard, this movie can't really help but feel of just being a setup movie because it is a setup movie, but it does do a phenomenal job of setting up the magical finale that is Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Number 5.
At my number 5 spot, I have Order of the Phoenix. I went from disliking this movie, thinking it was my least favorite Harry Potter films, to now not only really digging this movie, but thinking that this movie does not get the praise it deserves. Order of the Phoenix, I thought, did such a great job of bringing in and expanding the world, especially into the political side and the government side of the wizarding world. David Yates, I thought, did a wonderful job of moving us into not only further darker territory, but further mature territory, knowing where the content is going forward. Order of the Phoenix was cut down significantly to a runtime of just over 2 hours and 10 minutes, making us, believe it or not, guys, the shortest Harry Potter film. Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix could have definitely have benefited from like at least a 20-minute increase of runtime, especially knowing what goes on in that book. This movie is still entertaining, it's thrilling, and it easily has among the best of the Harry Potter duels when they go to the Ministry of Magic. Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix does not get the praise it deserves, so that is why it is my number 5.
Number 4.
Coming up next, at number 4 spot as well, the 4th Harry Potter film, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Goblet of Fire, does it say in one word, badass. This movie is a badass Harry Potter film, and it is a sequel to, well, a movie that I might be talking about later on. Just stay tuned on that one. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is a tension-filled movie. It's an exciting movie. It's a thrilling movie. At some point, it's a bit over the top and bombastic, but man, it is all the better for it. Goblet of Fire, which is, by the way, it's Alex's favorite Harry Potter film. I just want to mention that as well. So Alex, if you're watching, I'm making sure to mention that this is your favorite Harry Potter film. Love you, buddy. Especially, guys, when you consider two specific things. The Triwizard Tournament expands upon not only the culture of the wizarding world, but just overall expands the overall world and the lore. Not to mention as well, guys, the most important thing this movie does, and that is reintroducing Lord Voldemort, and Ralph Fiennes gives such an incredible performance. Goblet of Fire is a badass, thrilling, and exciting film, and that is why, well, it is my number 4. It is number 4, so that's why it's my number 4 in this ranking of my ranking. At my number 3 spot, I have Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Chris Columbus did a wonderful job of setting up everything so beautifully, making a film that essentially, like I said in my review of the film, feels like such a warm hug in a movie that just gives you, well, really, I'm going to say it again, pun intended, a magical introduction that does not forego and does not forget the dark underbelly of the first book. That is one of the things that I love about Sorcerer's Stone, is that this movie is a very faithful adaptation to the Sorcerer's Stone. There are certain aspects that don't quite age well in terms of CG and some of the visual effects, but otherwise, guys, Chris Columbus did such a wonderful job kicking things off, introducing us to the world, the characters, and making this feel like such, I'm going to say this once again, a magical introduction to the franchise. Seriously, Sorcerer's Stone is a wonderful movie, and not to mention as well, a phenomenal first impression to what is going to be a incredible franchise.
Number 2.
At my number 2 spot, I have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Like how Chris Columbus did a wonderful job of setting up and introducing us to the wonderful wizarding world, David Yates did not only a wonderful job, but also a magical job of just tying up every thread possible, but leaving us with such a magical and an epic finale to the Harry Potter film franchise. Deathly Hallows Part 2 had a lot, and I mean had a lot of pressure, and I can't imagine the pressure that David Yates and everybody was facing. But I gotta tell you guys, David Yates and everybody not only lived up to the expectations and lived up to the challenge, but they stuck that landing even more so. And what we have as a result is not only an exciting film, an emotionally satisfying film, but this is a movie, guys, that especially in terms of its ending, I couldn't have asked for a more, here we go once again with this pun, a magical ending to the Harry Potter film franchise. And not to mention as well, guys, this movie not only ended this movie, but the franchise with such the most perfect final shot they could have done, a wonderful finale.
It's number 1.
If you saw my review and I guess my re-review of this movie, this is very obvious of what this film is. Not only, guys, is this movie my favorite Harry Potter film, but this movie is also in my top 10 favorite movies of all time. So, my pick for my favorite Harry Potter film is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. While Chris Columbus did a wonderful job of setting up the franchise and doing a good sequel, I feel like the franchise just needed a new voice, a new sense of style to the franchise. And also, not to mention as well, considering where this franchise was heading, not just in terms of the storytelling, but the tone, the themes, and everything else, considering where this movie's franchise was going in a darker direction, Alfonso Cuarón was brought in, and man, not only did he bring the franchise where it needed to go, but not to mention it as well, Alfonso Cuarón brought the sense of style, danger, of storytelling, the sense of adventure, that sense of wonder once again. Besides Half-Blood Prince, which don't get me wrong, it is to me the best looking Harry Potter film, I do believe that Alfonso Cuarón did bring the best sense of style, energy, pacing, action, just the best sense of overall wonder and magic to the Harry Potter films. Prisoner of Azkaban is the only film of the franchise that no matter how many times I rewatch this movie, I feel as if I'm watching it again for the very first time. That is how much I adore Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Prisoner of Azkaban is a magical film, it's a wonderful film, it's a phenomenal film, but to simply put, I love this movie. Prisoner of Azkaban is my number 1. I cannot stop gushing about this movie, so I'm just gonna end it right there. I freaking love this movie. And that, guys, is gonna wrap it up for my ranking of the Harry Potter film franchise, at least the mainline Harry Potter films, and also, that also completes my journey of rewatching the Harry Potter films, covering them, and then my ranking. Thank you all so much, guys, for not only watching my reviews of the Harry Potter films, but also watching my ranking. It means the world to me. And like I mentioned you guys earlier, comment down, let me know below, what is your ranking of the Harry Potter film franchise from your least favorite to your favorite? Why'd you put them at where they are at? Just let me know below. I hope you guys had a fun time watching this thing. I hope you enjoyed my ranking of the Harry Potter film franchise. If so, please hit the like button, or if you disliked my ranking, hit the dislike button. If you guys want to see my previous 2 videos, please click it right there or right there. And of course, until my next review or video goes live, I will see you all next time.